quantitative and qualitative. So this is the photo and we went to the site trips of the CUHK Art Museum and we did a lot of observation inside the site trip. So this was talked by my roommate in the afterwards of the presentation. And we've also interviewed with the museum staff to know about the background and the history of the art museum. And also in the quantitative, we have sent out our questionnaire to the CUHK students to find out their impressions and what they feel about the art museum. So we have had some response and some replies that we have separated it into the three attributes. It is elegant, keen and contemporary and modern. So these three attributes actually determines our brand's tone and manner. And according to the three attributes, we made this new book. So we have used a lot of photos have used the curved line to depict the mountain shape. And this is our brand color scheme. You can see actually we have used a lot of the green tone color. It is come from the Chinese traditional ink painting. And this green color is come from the porcelain which showcased in the CUHK the exhibition. And we also add orange to add contrast of the color. So this is our logo and the pictogram. So the logo is actually used the curved line to depict the mountain and the cow shape and it also contains a hidden message. Is the curved line actually represents the four-letter form CUAM, which is the short form of the Chinese University Art Museum. So the pictogram is also according to the logo. We use the curved line as the key elements to make this design. So this is the more overview, which is showing how is the logo working of the art museum. And the pictogram, you can see they have a dark version and a white version, which differentiates the accessible colors and the male and female colors. And the pictogram inside the art museum to show the audience our regulation, what we can do inside the museum.
So moving on to the design for the location map, we will start explaining our findings from the first user journey. So from the first user journey, we tried to visit the art museum based on the provided routes and the maps. And we found out that the location map appears to be rather complicated and because it lacked instructions for each step for the walking route. And as the map covers the whole area of CUHK, it is visually too packed for users. And for the bus routes, it is also as confusing as the location of the bus stop were not clearly indicated. Plus, it also did not indicate which stop to drop down. So based on the problems that we have figured out from the first user journey, we created a map that had already been narrowed down, but still maybe we think that might be too big, so we narrowed it down again, and we created different versions of it to test based on this size. So this is the design approach. It is a leaflet which consists of the location map and the museum map. So in the location map, the red color indicates the walking routes and the mint color indicates the bus routes. So both routes can refer to the location names and marks right here. So to check on whether they are on the right track or not. And while this part, it is for the bus routes users to refer to. So this is the museum map, and it consists of the museum map and different routes of the museums. So based on the user test, I'm now going to explain some of the approaches with the support of our findings from the user test. So the first finding is that the landmarks are extremely important for users to confirm they are on the right path. As during the user test, users are extremely dependent on the landmarks, and they will constantly check on the map, like whether they had found the landmarks or not. So therefore, we believe that landmarks are really an important element that should be involved in the map. And we did not add all the landmarks, graphics, and had chosen the ones that really worked during the user test. So the second finding would be the accuracy and the positioning of the signs of the map. As for the circle part in this picture, it actually requires users to enter engineering buildings and pass through the bridge and the car park for a shortcut. However, it was quite confusing for the users as these instructions inside were actually not placed accurately according to the real life position. Therefore, we have adjusted the icons to the exact position and had included instructions like head to 9th floor, for which became much more clearer to users. And the third finding would be the significance of the bus stop location. So during the user test, we actually found out that using the dark brown to represent University Station is not very obvious to users. And it actually took the user a bit of time to find out the bus stop. So therefore, we decided to use the blue to replace that and to fully present the bus routes with blue color. There are also other adjustments like the color of related landmarks to the bus routes. It also changed to the blue color, which had appeared much more clearer to users and with the high color contrast.
So besides the locational map, as Ophelia just mentioned, to improve the wayfinding system to Art Museum, we also designed the outdoor signage and indoor signage to help the wayfinding system. So now I will talk about the outdoor signage first. So in our user test tool, as Ophelia just mentioned that, we find a problem that user when come to this area, they will find it very hard and confusing when they find the lift to 9th floor and the footbridge. So we to solve this problem, we decide to add the outdoor signage at some areas to help the people to find out the art museum easier. So there are 8 outdoor signage in total, and they are mainly placed in the area like near the car park and also the bridge, the footbridge. So especially for those concealed corner, we will put this outdoor signage to help the user to find out the art museum more easily. So after this improvement in our user test 3, our user responds that finding the art museum with this outdoor signage is more easy and clear, as the outdoor signage is very conspicuous. So they can very easily spot out the signage, and then they can find a way to art museum. So move on to the visual design of the signage. We also did some user tests to test out the best result. So for the shape of the signage, we have initially designed 8 shapes, and the final decisions of the shape of this signage is the sling shape of with 2 waves on top. It is because this shape is matched with the logo and the identity of the art museum. So it will make this user more easily to recognize that this signage is related to art museum. And for the use of the color, we have tested 2 colors. One is orange color and the other one is dark brown color. And the final decision is using the orange color because, as the user said, that orange color is more eye-catching for them, allowing them spot out the signage more easier. So, and as Ophelia just mentioned, that in our map design, the orange color is used for indicating all the information about the walking route. So using orange color for the outdoor signage can make it more consistent with the map. For the typeface, we also have 2 options in our user test, and our final decision is Siri Hatai for Chinese and Asusong for English, as our users said that the readability and the legibility of the typeface of Siri Hatai and Asusong is better than the other one. So our final decision is this one. And for the size of the signage, we also tested. We have 2 options, and the smaller one is based on the existing signage on the street, taking the reference of the existing signage on the street. And the larger one is based on the smaller one to enlarge. So we have tested these 2 sizes, and the final decision is the small size. Yeah, as our user mentioned that the small the small size, the smaller one is more suitable for them. And we think that the bigger size is it may overpower the surrounding building and the signage. So we finally decide to use this size. And here are the font size. So these are our outdoor signage.
So now I'm going to introduce the inside part of the wayfinding system. So to go through the problem we found and the solution we come up to, I want to introduce one visitor's experience to everyone. So this visitor, he come in from Gallery 1, Gallery 2, but he want to visit Gallery 1. And he saw the signage on the left and thought that the entrance on the right is actually for the entrance of Gallery 1, but it actually shows outside to the museum. After that, while he was touring, he tried to take some photos with flash on, but he is warned that it's not okay. But he argued that there are actually no clear regulations presented. Now he wants to go to the east wing part of the art museum. He saw this paper, he knew that he needs to enter through another entrance, but he don't know the direction. Before he leaves, he wants to go to the washroom, but the whole museum do not have clear indication of where the facilities are. And even this board outside didn't give much information. And after that, he thinks that the whole exhibition is great, but the experience is frustrating. After he leaves, he didn't even notice there's a souvenir shop. So, after learning the whole experience, and we conclude three main problems: misleading museum wayfinding system, unclear regulations, and weak facilities directions. And all these three problems are actually about the flow. So first of all, misleading museum wayfinding system. To make it clear, we list out all the signage that are already existing in the museum. The amount is enough and clear, but the usage is comparably weak. Usually, in a good wayfinding system, the signage tell you the direction, where you are going, but not where you are at. But in the art museum, even the same kind of signage serves different kind of logic and uses. For Gallery 1 and 2, it shows you where you are, but in Gallery 3 and 4, it shows you where you are going. And all of this about, just like what I said, it's about the flow of the museum. So how could we fluent the flow? The solution is actually quite simple and smart. So first of all, the first thing to do is to give a rough structure in a visitor's mind, so they knew that where is the facilities and what are the galleries. So we suggest adding this kind of floor plan map in all three entrances of the art museum. And because those maps give a really clear structure for the visitors. So with a little bit help of the signage which tell the directions but not where the users are, and it is very easy for them to walk through different exhibitions and galleries. And to consolidate the whole wayfinding system, we also suggest adding this kind of temporary signal signs, because we knew that sometimes walkways and galleries are blocked and closed. So with this kind of notice paper, users could easily find the way and the directions. And this kind of all the flow could be more fluent and have better and efficient wayfinding.
And here are the other two problems we found, which are the unclear regulation and the weak facility direction. For a good wayfinding system, usually there are clear guides for the direction. However, for the art museum, we find that the guides and the pictograms are a little bit weak. And even there is a floor plan map, the information is not solid enough. So we collect the feedback from the user test one, and we design the pictogram, including add a clear circle solid in each room, which can let the people see clearly, because the color theme of the museum is a little bit dark. And we also change the line to make it clear and match the new theme. And here is the user test 3, and we focus on the signage visual in this time. And the first thing we tested is the typeface. For the top one, we use Zenobia for both Chinese and English typeface. And the second one, we use Ziyun Heptype for Chinese typeface and Azu Song for English typeface. And the user commented that Zenobia will be better because it is thinner than the other and match the concept. And here are the mock-up for the wayfinding system after tested the typeface. And the second thing we test is the color. And we choose the top one because it is easier to catch the people's attention. For the last one, we test the shape of the wayfinding system and choose the second one, which is the most clear and eye-catching with special shape. And here is the mock-up. The people can understand the left-hand side is the East Wing and Gallery 3 and 4 immediately when they go in the art museum. And finally, we do the user test for the shape of gift shop wayfinding, and the feedback from them is also show that the irregular shape is more suitable. And here is the markup for gift shop wayfinding, and it can separate gift shop area with the exhibition area. Last but not least, in here, it shows all the things we did for the wayfinding system, including the floor plan, pictograms, and so on. Also the dimension of them. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.